Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Akshata Suresh Kapsa and I am pursuing my engineering at Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering, Bengaluru. Today I am here with the subject digital communication. So let us go with the topic types of modulation techniques. Let us see what is modulation. So modulation is nothing but adding information to a carrier signal. So here carrier signal is the sine wave on which the characteristics of the information signal are modulated. This is called carrier signal. And here in image you can see a modified signal is nothing but modulated signal, and detected the modification is demodulate. Let us see modulation in briefly. Converting digital or analog information to a waveform suitable for transmission over a given medium. And it involves varying some parameter of a carrier wave like sinusoidal waveform at the given frequency as a function of the message signal. So here is the equation A cos 2 pi fct plus xi. Here xi is a phase and fc is a frequency and A is amplitude. If the information is digital, changing parameters is called keying. For example, amplitude shift key, phase shift key and frequency shift key. So here is the modulation system, how the modulation is going. So first is source, and that is carried through source encoder, channel encoder and modulator. And this modulated signal will carry to the channel, and this channel gives to the demodulator, where the signal is going to be demodulated and decoded. This demodulator will give to the channel decoder and carried through source decoder and destination. Now let us see types of modulation. First one is analog modulation, digital modulation. So let us see what is analog modulation. If the variation in the parameter of the carrier is continuous in accordance to the input analog signal, the modulation technique is termed as analog modulation or analog modulation scheme. Now, digital modulation. If the variation in the parameter of the carrier is discrete, then it is termed as a digital modulation technique. Here you can see the how analog modulation will be done. Now, digital modulation. In digital modulation, an analog carrier signal is modulated by a discrete signal. Digital modulation can be considered as a digital to analog and the corresponding demodulate as analog to digital conversion. In digital communications, the modulating wave consists of binary data and the carrier is sinusoidal wave. Amplitude shift keying. This is nothing but ASK. In this, the amplitude of the signal is changed in response to information and all else is kept fixed. Bit 1 is transmitted by a signal of one particular amplitude. To transmit 0, we change the amplitude keeping the frequency constant. Here you can see how the amplitude shifting key will be there. That is, first one is message signal, second one is carrier signal, and third one you can see that modulated signal, that is nothing but ASK signal. Now frequency shifting key, nothing but frequency shift keying. In this FSK we change the frequency in response to information, one particular frequency of for a 1 and another frequency for a 0. Here you can see the modulated signal and carrier signal and a message signal for a frequency shift keying. Next one is phase shift keying. This is nothing but PSK. Here we change the phase of the sinusoidal carriers to indicate information. Phase in this context is the starting angle at which the sinusoidal starts. One phase changes encodes 0 while another phase change encodes 1. To transmit 0, we shift the phase of the sinusoid by 180 degree. Here you can see the image of PSK. M-ray modulation technique. This is nothing but in binary data transmission, this send only one of two possible signals during each bit interval TB. In M-ray data transmission, send one of the M possible signal during each signaling interval T. In almost all applications, M is equals to 2n and T is equal to NTB, where n is an integer. Each of the M signals is called a symbol. These signals are generated by changing the amplitude, phase, frequency, or combined forms of the carrier. Thus, we have MASK, MPSK, MSK, and MQAM. Quadrate amplitude modulation. This is nothing but QAM. If both the amplitude and the phase are varied proportional to the information signal, quadrature amplitude modulation results. Combination of a phase shifting and a amplitude shifting is nothing but a QAM. Here you can see the image of the QAM, waveform of the QAM. Differential phase shift key. This is nothing but DPSK. For the perfect detection of the phase modulated signal, the receiver needs a reference signal. But if differential encoding and a phase shift keying are made together at the transmitter, the technique is called DPSK, that is nothing but differential phase shift keying. For the transmission of a symbol 1, the phase is unchanged, whereas for transmission of the symbol 0, the phase of the signal is changed by 1. So let us end this video. This is all about types of modulation techniques. So thank you everyone.